Well, folks, just 14 days to go before the future of our country, perhaps the world, is decided. Going to get off American politics a little bit and talk about who our true enemies are in the world. And right now, today, as we fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, our enemies are fanatic Islam, fascistic Islam. In a couple of stories this week coming out of Afghanistan tells us who our enemy really is. The brave Taliban took a bunch of unarmed men off a bus. 30 young people claimed they were Afghan soldiers or police. Took them off somewhere and executed them. Oh, they had a Taliban trial, of course. And in keeping with the tenets of Islam as practiced by the Taliban, these men were enemies of Islam. It's quite possible these young guys were just heading over to Iran to look for some jobs. I kind of wonder if we were to catch these Taliban fighters who murdered these 30 innocent people, if we would send them to Guantanamo Bay and give them full legal rights in the U.S. justice system. What I would do, of course, if we catch these Taliban, I'd give them a Taliban-type trial and shoot them. These type of men, Islamic fundamentalists, cannot be allowed to live. And then, just a couple days ago, some more really very brave Taliban men gunned down a young Christian woman going to work to help disabled Afghans. They rode by on a motorcycle and just shot her as she was walking in the street. Isn't that courageous? You see, Islam is a religion of total intolerance. They can't stand having Christians in their presence. They can't stand having anyone talk about Christianity in their presence because that's against the Quran. And of course, the reason they can't is because Islam cannot stand up to intellectual scrutiny. It is a religion of intolerance and hate and murder. Those are the people we are fighting, my friends. We cannot forget that. We are fighting them everywhere. These are the men that Obama will sit down and talk to. Will he abandon the battle in Afghanistan? Probably after a couple years. Iran, the Muslim terrorists in Iran, doing everything they can to undermine our efforts in Iraq. And when American troops leave, will Iran send its killers in there to take over that country? They will. That's who Muqtada al-Sadr is all about. This war against fascistic Islam, radical Islam, cannot be forgotten just because the United States is in economic turmoil. One of the great dangers is that Pakistan will be taken over by these kind of men. A lot of battles being fought along the Afghan border as the Taliban fight to keep their little sanctuaries there. Pakistan is collapsing economically simply because it is a Muslim state that does not reward individual accomplishment, entrepreneurship, and property rights. All the teachings of the Quran do not allow economic, personal prosperity. And so Pakistan is a nation of abject poverty, as it has little or no natural resources. Imagine Pakistan being taken over by people like the Taliban. That's quite possible in the next few years. So let us not forget, folks, as we come down to our own national elections, we are fighting wars against a horrible evil called Islam. And what they want to do and will continue to do to innocent men, women, and children who do not adhere to the hateful teachings of the Quran. All for today, folks. This is old Black Bart.